Let's talk about the Seahawks for a minute, because the Seahawks this weekend played a good game, except they had no run game. And when you have no run game, everything else becomes extremely difficult. And frankly, you can't blame it too much on the actual Travis Homer running back, their fourth string back. Essentially, you've got Rashad Penny out. You've got Kenneth Walker III, who is an absolute stud dealing with a lingering injury. And then you've got DJ Dallas, who is out with a high ankle sprain. And now you had Travis Homer, who is an exceptional blocking back, but did not run the ball very well at all. In fact, if you look at our run game, it was completely non-existent. In fact, take a look at this article that was posted about his production this week and what it had to say in terms of reasons the team was blamed for not doing well. So if you look at it, Travis Homer had 26 yards on 9 carries. That's just crazy. You can't have 26 yards on 9 carries. Now, as everyone knows, all of the production out of a running back, a lot of it is not just the back himself. It has to do with the O-line, the schemes, the blocking. There's a lot that goes into a back being productive. But Travis Homer and the team, essentially Pete Carroll, Shane Waldron, the planning of this game plan was atrocious. They knew that Kenneth Walker was not going to play. We haven't had Rashad Penny all season since his injury. And DJ Dallas, they were kind of day-to-day, but they've got enough experience, especially Pete Carroll, to know that if they're dealing with a high ankle sprain and they're kind of iffy, it's likely you're going to have to make sure you have a good game plan going into the rest of the week where you're going to be able to deal with that. And in this game, it was just a rough pressure on the passing game. And Seattle has a great passing game, but they're not going to kill you over the top. Frankly, no team can beat you if they don't have a running game to complement the passing game, because then the defense is not held to be as honest on the D-line, and they can really force you, as we saw in this game, make turnovers in the passing game. They can play much more aggressive with passing. They can keep men in the backfield instead of having to line up on the front line of the scrimmage. And that just opens up a whole ball of worms. So from the get-go, looking at this game, when you look at the box score and you look at how we did as a team and you look at the quarterbacks, I'm not going to put much of this on Geno at all. Geno threw some bad picks, but he was forced to throw the ball 36 times in the game, and there was literally no run threat. And he was still averaging 7 yards a game and had thrown 3 touchdowns. So Geno was not the problem here. The problem was the game planning, and frankly, pretty inexcusable game planning from Pete Carroll and from Shane Waldron, where, look, if you're going to have a chance to compete in this league, you have got to have a run threat, and we had none. And you can't go in with a third or fourth string back and not have some unique schemes or strategies there to keep the defense on their toes. In this game, Carolina was coasting the entire time because, frankly, they had nothing to worry about. If you look at the box score, they were up 20-14. They were up 10-0 in the first quarter, and we just could not get any run going. And we didn't make any halftime adjustments to really keep the game going the way it was. Frankly, the receivers on the Seattle side were really what made this game happen, along with Geno's play. I know he threw 2 interceptions. He had a really rough game in terms of statistical speaking, but the guy, as a game and hanging in there, knowing that literally the defense had no worries about running, it was pretty impressive to see what we were still able to do considering all those things. So yes, it's tough. It's been a tough season. I hope that Rashad Penny comes back healthy next year. Kenneth Walker, I'm glad we rested him because he's such a stud. I do not want him to get injured in the long haul. But overall, I think that if you look at this, it was just a rough outing for the team because, frankly, we just didn't have a whole lot to show for like what we were going on. And there's a little bit more blame maybe to be passed around with our run defense. We really couldn't stop the run when it came to Carolina, and they just kind of shredded us on the run. And their run offense isn't necessarily the best in the league. They're still a team kind of figuring things out. But what we saw was that we just could not stop them on the run. And so I think overall, if you look at the statistics here, they jumped to a 17-0 lead, and they ran the ball 45 times for 223 yards and 2 touchdowns on running with an average of 4.8 yards. Again, our defense has got some major issues. Some of that can be put on the offense, not producing and keeping them on the field and applying all of that stress. But Clint Hurt has got to get his act together to really coach that D-line. I believe also Shelby Harris was out. He's one of our strongest defensive ends on the team, so that certainly had a player impact as well. But again, coaching somewhat can account for this and fill in the gap. So let me know what you guys think. I think this game could have been a lot better from a gaming perspective, coming in with a better strategy to at least give us a little bit more of a perceived threat at the run offense. And then on the offensive side of the ball with passing, we were just put in a really bad place where we couldn't really do anything there because of the fact that we had no run to sort of keep the defense honest.